Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Jamaican woman gets 14 years in US for money laundering in drug ring. A Jamaican woman living in Florida who laundered money from an international cocaine ring distributing the drug to Pittsburgh and Newcastle has been sentenced to more than 14 years behind bar. Marcia Cunningham, 54, of Plantation, Florida, will face deportation once she completes her sentence, the U.S. media is reporting. She was sentenced by U.S. District Judge Marilyn Haran last week to 178 months in federal prison for violation of money laundering and drug laws in connection with a ring run by Hector Forbes of California. Forbes pleaded guilty in 2020 and is awaiting sentencing. The judge also imposed 5 years of supervised release on Cunningham's conviction. Cunningham is not a United States citizen and is expected to be deported once she completes her sentence, a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Pennsylvania said. According to information presented to court, Cunningham was part of an international drug trafficking organization that arranged for the importation of multiple kilograms of cocaine from Mexico that were then distributed through mails to various customers, several of whom resided in the Western District of Pennsylvania. The court heard that Forbes was the mastermind. His brother Robert, who was also indicted for his role in the ring and was sentenced to more than 12 years in federal prison in 2020. Cunningham's role was to launder the proceeds of drug sales. According to the Criminal Investigation Division of the Internal Revenue Service (IRS), she set up a post office box using fake ID and used dozens of bank accounts to take in drug money and then use it to buy cars, properties, jewelry, and other items to support a lavish lifestyle. She also arranged to use drug money to buy assets in Jamaica, her native land, where she hoped to return to live, the U.S. Attorney's Office stated. Cunningham, Forbes, and 15 others in 4 states were indicted in Pittsburgh in 2019. Former U.S. Attorney Scott Brady said at the time that the ring was one of the largest cocaine operations that were uncovered in the region. The charges against Forbes and the others were the product of an 18-month wiretap investigation led by the DEA, along with the State Attorney's General Office, the IRS, local police, and District Attorney's Office in Lawrence County. Wiretaps revealed that the ring dealt cocaine across the country and sent the cash back to Forbes in California and Cunningham in Florida. A second indictment in the case charged various defendants in Newcastle, including 3 siblings. Daughter's killing continues to haunt dad. Fearful that his daughter's murderers is still out there, a 54-year-old father is being haunted by sons of men kicking off his door and entering his house to kill him every night. His daughter, 30-year-old Yona Kimisamon, a driver employed to Grace Kennedy Limited, was killed earlier on the morning of February 16 while she was making deliveries in close proximity to her house in Windsor Heights off Windsor Road in St. Catherine. Someone's body was found along Washington Drive in Windsor Heights with multiple gunshot wounds, a slashed throat, and plucked out eyes, a sight that has lingered with her father. Sometimes me can't sleep, me traumatized. Sometimes everything just run on my mind. Me can't even think straight. Every time a she run on my mind. She and my oldest child, the man reported. The 54-year-old reported that while being informed about the state of his daughter's body, police officers had to console him. On Wednesday, February 23rd, the St. Catherine South Police held a person of interest in relation to someone's murder. Reporters understand that the suspect was held in operation in Central Village and was to be questioned in the presence of his attorney. 3 days later, detectives laid charge against 31-year-old Saddam Morgan, also known as Truckers, who is believed to be involved in the murder. Morgan, a welder of Windsor Heights Central Village, was charged with robbery with aggravation and illegal possession of firearm. He is set for a court appearance in early March. However, the grieving father said he was still fearful. Me no feel safe. Me feel like the perpetrator will send 2 men come kill me. I don't know. Any game can play right now. People know where me live and everything. Sometimes at night time, me hear some sound and me fly out of me sleep. Me all listen for hear if nobody come kick off the door and come in and shoot up the place. I don't know. I just start from meeting most of the time. The man went on. The police call me. I'm a go down there at the station on Monday. Them ask me some question and so forth. They don't change anything. What if more people who are involved still out there? The father lamented. Someone's younger brother is also still reeling from the tragic loss. It is distressing. I have never dealt with a situation like this before. I'm kind of flustered, he reported. The investigation is still going on, and they have people in custody and so forth. So I am just hoping for the best. We're still awaiting updates, so until then, we can't proceed with anything. The autopsy hasn't been done as yet, and so we haven't identified the body as yet. Police sources reported that it seems someone didn't make it home on Wednesday morning. The truck she was driving was discovered stripped of all the goods on the main road. This was a little distance away from where her body was dumped. Meanwhile, someone's aunt has taken a huge hit with her health since the news broke. I'm not doing so good. I went to the doctor on Monday and I'm under depression. Right now from last week, me having diarrhea, stomach pain, and it's just not feeling good. The doctors say it is depression doing me like this, resting on my body and making me sick and all these things. My doctor sending me to the mental health doctor. So, may I say, I am not going because me no mad, she reported. She also said her brother should be around people as he grieves his first child. It's because he is by himself right now. I have to stay with family members and them try to console me and so, and my church people them and so on. But it's still worrying. I am not at my house now. I don't even know what's going on at my house right now. On Monday, February 28, 3 men were arrested in relation to illegal possession of firearm and ammunition following an operation in Windsor Heights. A Glock pistol and 2 magazines loaded with 30 rounds of 9mm cartridges were allegedly seized by the police. Citizens urged to join MOEs' efforts to find disengaged students. Jamaicans are being urged to assist the Education and Youth Ministry in its quest to find approximately 80,000 students who remain absent from the formal school system since the closure of face-to-face aspect of the school system at the onset of COVID-19 pandemic. The call was made by Acting Director of Safety and Security in Schools, Richard Thrope, during Friday's virtual town hall meeting hosted by the ministry, which was focused on the full resumption of schools on Monday. If it is that your community, you see girls and boys who are at school age and should be in school but are not in school, we ask you to reach out to those children and reach out to the families to see what might be the situation that is preventing them from coming back to school, he urged. He said parents and other citizens have a collective responsibility to support the ministry's effort to reach the children. Meanwhile, he disclosed that a total of 40,000 of the 120,000 students who were absent from classes due to COVID-19 pandemic have been re-engaged by the Education and Youth Ministry and have re-entered the formal school system. The students have been located for the ministry's yard-to-yard Find the Child initiative, which is geared towards locating those students who have not engaged in the remote learning modalities that have been provided by the ministry. According to Mr. Thorpe, many of those students did not have access to internet and technological devices. Additionally, he said many of the students who had access to the relevant online technologies also struggled with being online frequently. That's why we are very happy to be back fully in in-person classes, stated Thorpe. In relation to the 40,000 students now back in the school system, he said educators continue to work closely with them and efforts are being made to identify, locate, and re-engage the other students. Some 108 social workers have been employed under the initiative on part-time basis to assist with the efforts, while 508 youth workers have been employed to support the school-based team to identify and locate the absent students, he stated. We still have some way to go. I mean, we have not yet reaped the kind of success that we would have wanted to reap at this time. We anticipate that as we resume again in in-person classes, we will see a greater level of engagement, he said. Education and Youth Minister Favour Williams told a meeting of the Standing Finance Committee in the House of Representatives on Thursday that $103 million has been allocated to the Yard-to-Yard Find the Child initiative in the 2022-2023 budget. Williams said that 40,000 students who are also re-engaged will receive an individual learning plan provided by their teachers to help them recover from being disengaged with the education sector. She also said they are required to participate in a diagnostic test from which the data will be collected and analyzed by the ministry to determine the severity of their learning gap. More than 70% have done that test, and what we're seeing in those assessments is what we would have expected given that some of our children were not connected to the school system for such a long period of time, she indicated. She further noted that of the students re-engaged, an estimated 10,000 are going to require real and intensive hands-on support. New garbage trucks to begin arriving by year-end, says Mackenzie. The Minister of Local Government, Desmond Mackenzie, says 50 of the 100 garbage trucks that were promised before the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic should begin arriving on the island by year-end. Mackenzie gave the assurance on Thursday as he answered questions from opposition members of parliament during the sitting of the Standing Finance Committee that examined the $912 billion estimates of expenditure for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. The opposition MPs had noted, among other things, the inconsistency with garbage collection, with garbage compactors only servicing some communities once every 2 weeks. The Public Cleansing Agency, the National Solid Waste Management Authority NSWMA, has for some time been pointing to a shortage of garbage compactors, which it said severely hampers its operations. While the government signaled its intention to purchase 100 trucks to alleviate the problem, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted in a $90 billion shortfall in government revenue in 2020, derailed those plans. When asked by the Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Eastern, Dennis Daly, about the trucks, Mackenzie said the government committed to purchasing 100 trucks in the previous financial year. COVID came along and the government had to make the decision to suspend the purchase of the trucks to facilitate COVID. We have placed in the new financial year funding for 50 of those trucks, and the remaining 50 will come in the following financial year. Continuing, Mackenzie said, the process had commenced, and in discussion with the Executive Director or the Guard of the NSWMA, we are anticipating the end of this current calendar year into early 2023 to receive the first tranche of the 50 trucks. Despite the ministry's assurances, the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew South East, Julian Robinson, said the inconsistent garbage collection by the NSWMA was more than a matter of shortage of trucks. Some of the feedback I get is not just about a shortage of trucks. I get a feedback about the NSWMA cutting back on the time that the collectors are out there, meaning they don't get overtime pay, so they can't be out there as much. I get feedback that some of the contractors who provide trucks, their payment is way behind, so they are not doing the pickups with the regularity. Robinson lamented that the issue every community in his constituency and elsewhere complain about is the fact that it takes up to 2 weeks sometimes for the garbage to be removed. He said that as MP, whenever he calls the NSWMA, the agency is usually responsive. However, he said it should not take the intervention of the political representative to resolve the matter. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.